And welcome and good evening on a Tuesday night to Loud and Nerdy. My name is JW Colwell. I am joined with my two very cool guest hosts and or hosts. I shouldn't say guests. Sorry. My two very cool co-hosts, Kyle Defina. That's right, Kyle Defina and Jerry Kamora. I don't know why I said guest host. I'm sorry.
What is up?
What is happening, my fellas? How is everybody doing? How was your week?
Good. You'd be very proud of me.
What did you do?
Three movies this week.
Three movies. What three movies did you see?
Despicable Me 4 and Fly Me to the Moon. And this movie that you said you didn't think would do too good, Twisters.
That is not what I said.
I said would.
That is not what I said.
You said it has no tie-ins. I don't think it's going to connect. I think we can go back to the tape on this.
We could go to the tape. You don't want to. You don't.
Yeah.
I've been saying for a month now.
I'm talking about the tape from when we previewed the summer, and you were like you weren't thinking it was
right. Well, no. But again, as anything that changes in the world, like things change from day to day in this world. Once things started happening with this movie, I've been talking about it for 3 weeks that I think it's going to do way better than expected. But okay, you know what? You're good. The tie-ins are fine. You're the best, Kyle. It's like your PS 2.0. Anyway,
although I did see the whole story develop in the first 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, it's
good, but it's very
it's all effects. It's all I will say this. It's my review on it is all effects and a stopping point in the hypernova career that is Glen Powell, right? His career's on full hypernova blast right now. So he's in talks. Glen Powell, of course. This is Twisters we're talking about. Twisters, by the way.
Amy wanted to like Twisters. I'd like to know why she didn't like Twisters.
Wait, what happened here?
Jamie Hill, I wanted to like Twisters.
I wanted to like Twisters. Okay, that's interesting. She's working in the business now, so maybe the idea. Well, she is in the business, so maybe the idea of not having any competent characters or just kind of a superficial plot that we're trying to stop Twisters is not really good enough for Jamie. Like the first movie had at least an idea of like some sort of scientific. Like this one does too, but I don't know that it's as realistic as the original. But other highs, let's see.
I'm done already.
You're done?
No, I said it's been done already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hi.
Good evening, friends. Good evening, Ken McKernan. Hi, Jamie Hill. Hi, and then I didn't like Twisters. Hi, guys. Twisters are great. I enjoyed it. I think it's okay, right? It is a nostalgia bomb, but it's fun. It's not. It's very much.
I don't think it's a nostalgia bomb. You don't got to see the first one. You don't got to know anything about the first.
No, but no. When I say nostalgia bomb, this is it's not a nostalgia bomb that's based on the first movie. It's a nostalgia bomb that is based on the archetype of the first movie. In '96, when the original Twisters came out, all you really needed was good special effects and cool stars, and you didn't actually need a plot. Yeah, and a flying cow, and Jamie Gertz going, "What the fuck is going on?" Right? I rewatched Twister before I went to see Twisters. Twister is better than we give it credit for because it's very much the thing about Twister that is amazing is the sheer volume of people in it. Alan Ruck, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Jeremy Davies. There are so many people in the background of that movie. You just go, wow, that's a lot of people. I mean, that's a lot of people. And this one has that too, but not nearly as well known, right? Except for the three leads. I think the reason this movie is a hit, aside from the fact that they've done a really good job marketing with country music and to the Midwest, where this movie clobbered movies this weekend. Like, this is one of the rare movies that did not do better in L.A. or New York, or California, right? It did better in the Midwest, which is weird because those people actually deal with it. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's a pretty good movie, but again, I think it's that movie that's strapped onto Glenn Powell, and Glenn Powell is now all of a sudden. You want somebody that's tied to '90s nostalgia, so he did Top Gun, right? He's the hangman in Top Gun. He does Twisters here. He is the star of the remake of The Running Man that's coming out. And he is also going to be the star of the remake of Backdraft that is coming out. So he is like
The Running Man.
Well,
but anyway,
I think The Running Man will be incredibly less funny than it is, because the '97 Running Man is super. I think it's hilarious, but just the idea that Glenn Powell is the star right now of the moment. He is an actor that is like, look at him in his jeans and his 50-watt smile. He had a movie earlier this summer called Hitman on Netflix that's incredible. So he can do anything right now. He made Anyone But Us, which was a rom-com that shouldn't have been good, pretty good. And that movie ended up grossing almost $300 million worldwide, and it's a rom-com. So there's something about him. And quick question for you, Kyle. In this picture, you see Anthony Ramos, you see the girl from Twisters. The guy with the glasses, do you know why he's important? Does anybody know why he's important? I know, like, we have Rich Drees waiting in the wings. I know Rich Drees knows why he's important. But Kyle, Jerry, do you know why that young man holding the clipboard is important?
Because he has a clipboard. I don't know.
Because he has a neck tattoo, and Cody Rose tells us neck tattoos.
He has them sunglasses on, man.
Well, let's see if anybody in the chat gets it. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. I want to
not caught up that. Not caught up that far yet.
Exactly. JW, laugh out loud. Good evening, Joe Ridgely. I like the marketing. The marketing has been great. Wow. And more redos. Yeah, more redos. Is that Paxton's son? Ken McKernan asks. No, it is not Paxton's son. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a great guess. It is not Paxton's son. Ladies and gentlemen, that is David Corenswet, who is Superman. He is the new Superman. So he's in this movie. He's the definitive MIT bad guy. Like, he's the shitbag that's in any 90s movie. That's when I was saying nostalgia, Kyle. I wasn't saying it's nostalgia for the original movie. It's an archetype of the movies that were made in the 90s, which is loud, crashy, super good soundtrack, super good special effects, people we like in the movie. We don't necessarily need them to have that. They don't need character arcs or anything. They're just people we like.
Good soundtrack for it, but okay.
Well, it's a super country soundtrack. I know we're not in a country, right? But this soundtrack is destroying things in the Midwest, like Jelly Roll and all, like all the people. Like a twister. It's a twister. It's a twister. Also, another thing that's weird in this thing, had an $80 million opening weekend, and then one of the coolest things about it is that it is formatting. There's a format out called 40X, which is essentially like a carnival seat in a movie theater. So everything that happens in the movie happens to the carnival seat kind of thing, right? And this is the highest.
Story about this morning on Good Morning America.
This is the highest grossing film in the 40X format in film history. So people are going out to see it in it. It grossed almost 2.1 of the $80 million this weekend was grossed in 40X, which is people wanting to see it as a theme park ride, right? So it's in that case, it's a nostalgia film in that it's got a 90s blockbuster feel. There's not a lot of like fighting. There's not a lot of like, not too much going on. Although there is I think it's really interesting to do well in the Midwest. there is a slight ecological message that maybe these storms are super powerful because we've fucked around a little too much, which I think is great because they're getting it out there without actually. They don't mention the word climate change once, but it's there.
I wish.
She talks about it.
Those damn chemtrails.
I wish our comments came in real time because I'd love to know what Jamie Hill was making a whole bunch of faces about.
Well, that's interesting. Jamie Hill was making faces like, "Oh my god!" Like, "Oh, maybe about Superman."
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
So
There's no delay. You never know.
Lorenzo said Twisters was good, but she can tell us in the chat. There are a lot of faces. Shania Twain has done both movies with the song. Yeah. Let's see. Come on back. Let's do the twist. Jamie Hill's super faces comment. I was really happy to see Anthony Ramos. Anthony Ramos is very talented, and it is good to see him doing things. I thought he, like, the movie that should have done well last year didn't do well with Anthony Ramos, and it should have. Rainy is a Monday always get me down, also, but not Tuesdays because you have us.
She meant the Running Man.
Another Running Man. Oh, okay. Well, but Running Man is ripe for a redux because that movie, when it got made by Schwarzenegger in '87, basically it became a Schwarzenegger vehicle. So it became quips and jokes. Although I don't think Schwarzenegger is the problem with replacing. I don't think replacing any of the hunters is a problem. Jerry, who do I think is the problem if you're making a Running Man redux? Who's the actor in the movie that you're gonna have a real
Dawson.
Richard fucking Dawson is where you're gonna have a real tough time because he's amazing in that movie.
Yes.
Yes. He's sneaky and small.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, but he kisses everybody else in the movie. He kisses all the people that are contestants, not the guys.
Who do you bet on?
I like those comments.
I bet on Richards.
I bet on Ben Richards. But yeah, so I mean, I hope they come up with a really smarmy cat to do that role because that role is ripe for someone. But Dawson was so good in that role, like I don't know, like
he's Drew Carey in that role.
Drew Carey would be funny. That's funny.
Well, by rights, it should be Steve Harvey, though, right?
Oh my God, that would be funny. That would work.
Food.
Real-time chat in dark mode coming soon. Oh, there you go. Real-time chat in dark mode coming soon. That's from the Grand Poobah of the Indie Escape Network, Joe, originally. He hates when I comment. Curse autocorrect to ruining my line. And like Drew Carey. I mean, maybe Drew Carey. I don't know.
Ridgely. Oh, great Ridgely.
Oh my God, yes. Just we have a lot of big things coming up, but I appreciate dark mode, and I don't even know what that's. Real-time chat in dark mode. Should be fun. I'm excited. I'm just happy to be here on a Tuesday. But it grossed 80.
Huge for this show.
It is pretty good. $80 million. Despicable Me came in second, 24 million. Inside Out came in third, 12.
It was okay.
Well, we haven't gotten there. The boys are not, like, it's really funny with kids movies. I can't just go to it. First off, I feel a little creepy going to kids movies. Secondly, because I have kids in the house. Secondly, if the boys don't immediately want to see it, it kind of just like Inside Out, they were like, we have to go. Right? But Despicable Me hasn't been like that. They're not super. I know.
Did you get to fly to the moon this week?
I didn't get to Fly Me to the Moon. No, I got to Long Legs again, and I got to Twister. I went to see Long Legs for the second time, just because I wanted to go back and see everything, make sure I was thinking about some of my theories on the movie, and it's. I think it's even creepier the second time when you know what's coming, and you can sit there and kind of like, why is that? Why did that happen? Why this works over here? Like why there are certain aspects or things to the character, like why is she partially psychic, things like that. Like it again, I see Varney would would punish the wrong Arnold.
Right?
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. Hi Joe from Jamie Hill. Joe always nice when he's watching, and we got so many big things coming up. So I'm glad he's here. But Twisters is a
Christy
big
agrees
hit.
with the long legs. Now you might have just talked her into seeing it the second time.
I don't think it's okay. I think it's more than okay. I think it's a really well done. Like, I love The Silence of the Lambs, and as the show knows, I love Seven. So those are the two movies.
Let's not open that box. You might as well just say Howard the Duck at that point.
Let's not open that box, huh? What's in the box? What's in the box, Kyle? What's in the box?
Schrodinger's cat.
I think it's a really good movie. Schrodinger's cat. I think it's a really good movie. I think there are questions I had when watching it the first time and going back the second time. Like, I love that Osgood Perkins does a lot of cool things with how the screen is, and for old timey shots, it's like cut off. It's like watching a box television, and then it expands when it becomes the present. Like, there are so many nice little touches, and there's so much love for the Silence of the Lambs in Seven. I really like that. Let's see. Oddity is supposed to be on the same line as Longlegs. Yeah, I'm hearing really good things about Oddity. I might get to it this week. I might get to it Thursday. But Thursday we also have there's a couple other things I have to go see on Thursday. Also coming up on this episode in like 5 minutes, Rich Drees will be here, my good buddy from well, it's gonna be a little bit more. It's probably gonna be 5 minutes because we're still doing new stuff. My good buddy from Generation Movie. He has seen this movie already. And he will not give us any spoilers, but he will, give us a nice non-spoiler review on whether or not it does everything it needs to achieve. These two guys about to take on the box office in a big way. We'll see what happens. So he'll be up in a couple minutes. What else? So there's a new. Let's talk about this quick. It's a new Joker trailer. I don't know about either one. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a huge fan of the first one at all. And the more I see the trailers for this movie, the more I go, I mean, I'm gonna go see it, obviously, because that's what I do. But I don't like it. I don't have fun at it. I don't enjoy it, and I'm feeling that I'm not gonna enjoy it. Like, what am I wrong about this? Should I go back to the original? What do you guys think?
I don't know. First one was okay for me. I don't know.
It's a great performance, and I
think it would have done a lot better if it wasn't named the Joker.
I just think it's
so
so
not.
not.
Expectations going in. I mean, it is a very 70s New York feel, and
yeah, like the King of New York. It's like the King of New York.
It's a good movie too.
I mean, almost dealing with the mental health care system in the United States.
Yes,
and probably at that time it was just as bad.
Well,
but name it the Joker, it just put an undue pressure on it.
And he's very good in the role. He's very good in the role, but it's nihilistic and it's grimy and not. And when I said King of New York, I didn't mean King of New York. I meant King of Comedy. Sorry.
King of New York's still a good movie.
It is, but the King of Comedy is what I was going for. But it's a new trailer, so everybody's excited. Real quick before we bring Rich out, I just want to say I can't stress enough. 2 seasons in on this show, 20 episodes. My Adventures with Superman, you can find on Max or Adult Swim. It's 20 episodes in, and this is quickly becoming my absolute favorite incarnation of Superman because they've gotten everything about him right. So I'm not like, we can fight about costume, we can fight about, how Superman, how Superman flies, what he does, his powers. You can fight about all that. What you can't get wrong about Superman is that he's hopeful and he has a good heart and he's always trying to do the right thing, right? And he's not overly suicidal or crazy or whatever. And this show has won me over. They've reinvented characters, they've reinvented villains, they've made characters that were silly, super cool. I'm looking at you, John Henry, because Steele's in the show. They did an amazing job with Supergirl this season. Her entire arc was absolutely amazing. What they did with Supergirl, she was basically, adopted by Brainiac, and he basically set her forth to destroy worlds against her will. And finally, everything kind of, Clark and Lois and Jimmy Olsen broke the chains and saved Kara from Brainiac. Brainiac was the big villain. He was fantastic. He was demonic. It was utterly awesome. And they have all these other super villains waiting in the wings that are just been strategically placed throughout the show. I cannot talk about it enough. And again, the key to it is that Superman is absolutely pitch perfect. He is everything you'd want Superman to be. And, there's a moment where they're fighting. It's him versus Kara. She's brainwashed. And he's fighting. And she punches him. And then the next thing you see is like the idea that he may be throwing a punch, but he goes and he just kind of wraps her up and gives her a hug. I can't explain how cool it was. Like it reminded me very much of the Christopher Reeve Superman, and the heart and just everything about it, like everything about Superman in this show. I can't recommend it enough.
Till he turns into
a worries me more.
What was that?
This worries me more about DC.
No, I actually
always gets the animated right, and they never get the live.
I'm going to tell you right now. I think this is the basis for the movie. I think they already have an idea of how they're doing this, because everything down to the S on this show is and the new S at the end of the season all ties, and Kara's in the new one, and I'm telling you, I think this shows the blueprint. Another quick show before we'll talk about it really quick. Acolyte ended. We don't know if we're going to get a second season, but man, those were some big cameos. At the end of season 1, pretty big cameo in a cave, and then a pretty big cameo in the High Council. I don't know where it goes. I do know that the interesting thing about Star Wars, and this is not, it's a critique and it's more of a personal thing. We never get away from the old Star Wars. We can never escape the pull of the original trilogy or of the original characters. It always, every incarnation of Star Wars has to go back to some sort of, to the mill that has already produced all these characters. And I'm not saying I don't like the cameo. I'm just saying pretty big cameo from a small guy, and I don't know that they needed it. I
hope it's not him. I hope it's a predecessor.
It's definitely him. It's definitely him. There's no way it's not him.
For 9 episodes, we called somebody baby something, and it wasn't.
Yeah, but no. Yeah, but it's definitely him. Kyle, do you want to bet on this? Do you want to eat a hat on this one?
Uh-oh.
No, I don't, because I know that they're going to go for the low-hanging fruit. And you got a lot of comments to catch up on, and then bring Joe in, because he should be done with his dinner by now. Or Rich.
Joe? Rich? Who am I bringing in?
Who Joe talking about?
Yes.
I enjoyed it, but it could have been 25 to 30 minutes shorter. I think she's talking about long legs. Spoiler, Mark Hamill comes in and kills them both with smiling fish.
The Joker.
Maybe. This week I seen Flying in the Moon, A Quiet Place Day 1, Long Legs Twisters. Despicable Me was a good movie week. Yeah, all those. I think the interesting thing there is all of those movies are pretty decent movies, and this is an interesting thing. At the beginning of the summer, we were talking about it, and we'll talk about it a little bit with Rich. This summer was doom and gloom. Theaters are closing. They're going to fall off a cliff. Everything's wrong. But you get one hit. One hit produces the vibe to get people to go back to the movies, and that was Inside Out. And now we've had a bunch of strings of movies that are hitting without anything. Superman wasn't raised by two Robin Hoods.
I'm not sure.
Superman needs to get revenge on the Twister. No, it's bad. That's bad Superman.
In one of the cartoons, didn't he go into a tornado and fly the opposite way to stop it?
No, that's the
He already
Flash.
got the revenge.
The Flash does it. All superheroes need to dump the origins. No, because every we needed the cameo was great. Okay.
Little guy.
Why? I know. Why at the end of the Evil Twin story does Yoda have white hair? Mad Max bombing was weird to see. Yes, Mad Max bombing was T.J. Bowser. Good to have you here. Mad Max bombing was weird to see, but not surprising. Because Fury Road didn't do well early, and then they brought it back after it got all of the Best Picture kind of nods. It came back at the end of the summer and picked up steam after that. But picking up steam, and speaking of things that are about to pick up steam, we're happy to have this guy right here, Rich Drees.
Hey!
You made the chimichangas, Rich Drees.
Yes, I did.
We did not. We couldn't talk about it, but we did not have a Generation movie last night because you got to do something super cool. What did you get to do, Rich Drees?
I was attending the press screening for Deadpool and Wolverine.
So
in an IMAX theater.
In an IMAX theater. So this movie right here, these two guys, this Hugh Jackman, this Ryan Reynolds, who everybody seems to be talking about. They made this movie, and Rich, it's 2 hours.
I think you're going to hear a lot of good from him coming up.
Yeah, that kid Ryan Reynolds. He I like the cut of his jib. Yeah.
I'm just glad he's not in green.
Well,
but he was in Waiting.
Wow, that would sound from Rich like it was. He is going to be in green. Rich, no spoilers. I think what everybody wants to know is we've had a string of Marvel movies that have done okay, but not great, and some that did not great and not okay. Is this string about to be cut on Thursday? Would you say that streak is now past and we're about to have more talk of billion-dollar movies and big hits?
Well, I don't want to say for certain that, yes, the streak of Marvel product is over and everything is going to be wonderful from this movie forward. This movie's great. Whether this is an aberration or an indication, I mean, still remains to be seen. But damn, is this a good movie? I really enjoyed it. If you like the first two Deadpool movies with the snark, and some of the adolescent humor in the best way possible, the violence, the action, this movie kind of ratchets everything
so dick
up to the
jokes, lots of dick jokes.
A few, yeah.
A decent amount. Well, no, and I think
ironically used music cues, all the elements are there.
So I think, we were talking about this last week. I think Kyle and Jerry and I were talking about this last week. What are your expectations? And you and I I think we were talking about this offline. What are your expectations for Deadpool and Wolverine? And what can possibly satiate said expectations? And I told you, I don't care about cameos so much as I need this as a defining kind of like, we love this era, but this era is over. It's time to move on with these characters.
Yes.
Is that something that I can be happy about with my expectations?
Before you answer, Rich, I want everybody in the chat to put in their guess for what the opening weekend numbers will be while Rich answers this.
Oh, this is good. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea, Kyle. I would say, JW, knowing you, I think you are going to be fairly happy with this movie. You're going to be fairly surprised about a few things. There were I don't even want to say how many things that kind of really caught me off guard. But there was at least one moment where I did a Leo meme. You know, the whole like this. I literally kind of punched the air and shouted yes. And afterwards, I was sitting next to two of my friends who are also critics. Afterwards, I just went, guys, I'm really sorry about that, but that was something
that's the real Rich. That's the real 12-year-old Rich.
It's okay.
Don't apologize for shit like that.
To my left was also like super stoked about one or two things that definitely showed up. So, you know, it's fine.
Okay, so
it's a good time.
Let's get some comments. We got hi Justin W. Jones. And then I got a hi Rich, and then I got a hi from Justin Jones.
Good to see you.
Ken says hi. Hi Rich from Missy Defina. Ken then starts the prediction game. Estimated opening 170. Are we going, Kyle, with this game we're playing? Are we doing Price is Right rules, considering we're talking about
I guess so. Can't go over?
At or below?
I'm not going to take anyone's $1. I am not taking a $1 bid.
Well, that's gonna be rough. It's gonna have $20 in the coffer before I leave the theater on Thursday. Looks. We're not gonna talk about spoilers. I put 190, and that will be my.
I will say, JW, how do you consider any trailer? Do you consider trailers spoilers?
I think you know what? I think the trailers are already out there, and some of them. Kyle says 210. I think the spoilers and trailers that have been out. The last one apparently I didn't see it, so I don't know. I don't. Okay, I only know small. I know like dog pools in it. I as a matter of fact, there are two trailers I've stayed away from this summer. The last Deadpool Wolverine trailer, and the other trailer I'm really staying away from is Alien Romulus. I don't know why, but I feel Alien Romulus for me is one of those movies that I am going to come out of beaming, just because I feel like it looks like an alien movie, and if it quacks like an alien movie, I'll be super excited. So I'm just. Missy says 275. That is insanely high. Not unheard of. Just Lady Deadpool has been revealed, so it's not a spoiler. Fair. $13 million Drew.
211.
211.
Kyle.
Jerry is in.
I'm somewhere around 200 to 215. I think this movie's going to overperform just a little bit more than what they're currently.
I think 200.
7.5.
I think 200. I think 200 is, and I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to get in trouble if I'm wrong, but I think 200 is just a little too much of a hill for an R-rated movie to climb. Just something, and it's my old-timey running a movie theater vibes. It's just me, like, in my head going, R-rated movies, they don't do well at matinees.
You ran a movie theater?
I ran a movie theater.
Holy shit.
I knew that.
Kyle knew it too. He's a dick. Anyway, I think my expectations are not. I feel like expectations are some of the things that where Marvel gets into trouble, where you and I and you and I also talked about this, where the idea that people put something into an expectation booth and they go, I want this to happen, and when it doesn't happen, they blame the product and not themselves. Well, no, that's true. We had a thing.
No, I'm laughing at Joe's estimate.
Ridgely, 249,99999. I'm just saying, if you get it right, you don't get a prize, Joe. You don't get it right if you get it like it's at or below. Did they still have reels back then? At my theater, yes.
Funny
Yes,
thing
we had
is,
very,
Joe's only
we had
doing
very-
$250,000.
we had very heavy reels. He's a penny off of a quarter. The reels were very heavy. Did they have a Deadpool popcorn bucket? Yes, they're. Yeah, did you get a Deadpool popcorn bucket? Was it out yet?
No, I went because it was a late screening last night because they wanted everybody lined up across the country. So
Yeah,
Philly
explain this.
East
Wait,
Coast
this
folks were
this is a great story. Explain this to people watching the show.
well,
Tell me about this screening time.
that's what I'm trying to do. They lined up all the critic screenings across the country because they wanted everybody to kind of walk out of that screening at the same time, as you know, with the social embargo lifted. Social embargo was scheduled for 10 o'clock last night, which means anybody who sees the movie can tweet about it, talk about it on social a little bit, but not give their full review. Full review embargo lifted today at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And that was just to kind of give the embargoes are a very common thing for reviewers. And that's just to give like everybody across the country kind of like a time to all line up at the starting line together. And just making everybody go through the, have their screenings at the same time, whether you're in California and it's 5:30 in the afternoon where you're at your local screening place, or you're, one of the Philadelphia critics and are seeing the movie, at 8:30 at night. It was a little later than normal. We usually have like a 7 o'clock start for our screenings. So, I wound up, and the weather wasn't sounding really good. So, and I hate driving at night in the rain on the turnpike. So I actually stayed over in Philly last night, wrote most of my review then. But I talked to the manager at the concession stand at our venue last night, and he said they don't have anything that they're allowed to put out until Thursday morning. I swung by two different AMCs on my way home, and both of them were very hard line about, no, we don't have anything until Thursday once we start showing the movie. So I did not get a popcorn bucket, but if you want a popcorn bucket, you probably need to get your butts to the theater Thursday as soon as possible.
Afternoon. The showings down here start at 3.
Same.
So it looks like the first Rotten Tomatoes aggregates out, 128 reviews. It's at 78 or 79%. I think that's low.
I guarantee you that the
well, actually, it's not that low. Deadpool, the original. Oh, let's see. Hold on.
Go ahead. What were you about to say? I'm sorry.
I was gonna say like they're kind of like it's at 79% right now. So with 128 reviews in there. So that's pretty. That's a pretty solid number, right? Let's see. Original. Let's take a look at Deadpool and original Deadpool 2. Deadpool is 85 with 90% from the audience. And then so 85 is right around Deadpool 2. Probably a little lower. Deadpool 2 is 84 with 85 audience. So it seems like it's right in the 80 range.
Same zone. Yeah.
Which means it's if it's your cup of tea, it's your cup of tea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who has?
I dare say that there may be about 20% of critics who don't like the self-referential humor, aren't maybe are turned off maybe by some deeper cuts into the lore that the movie makes.
Yeah, some critics sometimes have hard times with meta. Stuff is, tough.
And what's really interesting to me about, and I don't want to get into plot details, but I will say this: the overall story feels very meta commentary on, is meta commentary on the end of the Fox era of superhero films and all the films that they made.
Well, and I think that is what I told you. Remember, I will tell you my expectations. Like you and I were talking about it when we did Generation movie last week. Oh, look, you have
There
a
you go,
Funko Pop.
Jasper.
Who has a Funko
Deadpool
Pop
one.
already? There you go. What I
He's
talked to you
bowling in
about
this
last
one.
week on Generation movie was that my big thing is I don't care what they do. If they want to introduce the X-Men, the new X-Men, great. But they need to end the 20th Century Fox X-Men world first, was my guess. Who is that? That's a Deadpool with a
Heavy metal Deadpool.
heavy metal.
It's Jerry
Deadpool.
is Deadpool.
There's too much hair.
That's Slapjaw Deadpool. Well, he was a teenager then.
He was a teen. No, even I'm not gonna lie. Jerry was kind of like Jerry. You didn't have a lot of hair as a teenager either. Jerry's not moving.
I'm not
Here
sure.
we are.
I'm not sure if his screen froze or if he's pissed
froze.
off.
I'm not.
I had all,
I'm not
I
sure.
had all black
I'm not
screen.
sure. I'm not sure if his screen froze or if
It
he
did.
just his soul died.
I didn't hear anything you
Let's
said
see.
after. That's Jerry doesn't have hair like that.
Well, they said Jerry in high school, and I was like, he didn't have a lot of hair in high
Yeah.
school either.
It's a Slapjaw Deadpool.
The popcorn buckets were all brought up, and now I have to get them in Adult World and Adam and Eve. No, they're around still. Jasper, come on.
Well, the
Yeah.
one that had the mouth like that thing out of
Yeah.
the Alien
Jerry
movie.
is chilling and frozen. Okay, so your take is that most people are going to come out of this and go super happy.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think they're going to
exactly
have
what
fun.
we expected.
Yeah, they're going to have fun with the story. The story has a bit of a heart to it, like the previous two Deadpool movies. It explores some interesting things with Wolverine's character, and I think Hugh Jackman gets to play a slightly different, some slightly different notes than he's played before with the character, and I think most people are going to really enjoy it. I mean, yes, there's the tyranny of high expectations going in.
Well, and I
and
think
it's
that's
not gonna be everything for everybody.
I think that's what Marvel has going against it. It is right now they've produced the greatest single franchise in film history. Right? We're at that moment. Like, you can be a Star Wars fan, you can be a Star Trek fan, you can be an Aliens fan, you can be all these franchises fans. But the franchise that has won is Marvel. Marvel is the same. We will be talking about Marvel and writing books about Marvel and talking about, a string of over 30 movies where they've been, where a $450 million box office is an abject failure. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we will be talking about this franchise forever on what they were able to do. And now the expectations have caught up to it, but this maybe is the hard reset that Kevin Feige and friends need. So, okay. Is there anything else you want to say? What is there one is there something we should be looking for that you would say came out of the blue where you're like, don't miss, not in a spoiler way, but just something like something in the third act. You just got to make sure you get that. Not spoiler.
Man.
But just,
If you've seen any of the trailers, you probably have an idea of where Wolverine and Deadpool end up for part of the movie.
the Ant-Man.
In that long segment, keep your eyes open. Obviously pay attention to what the action and the dialogue and everything is. But there's always some interesting things to be seen scattered about.
This is really tough.
And there's one
Like a
there's one
collector?
thing.
Howard the Duck
No.
and scattered about.
Like Ready Player
No,
One. You have to watch everything.
Do you understand how he just shut you down with Howard the Duck? Like it was something that was on the base of his shoe. Like it was. Like, do you understand how he just no, there's no Howard the Duck. Give it up. It's over.
I would love for Howard the Duck to show up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the 1980s version. I mean, Seth Green does a nice
John, you
job
look
voicing
all
him when he
disappointed.
pops up in the Guardians and
The
in
80s version is so
Endgame.
bad, Rich.
John's like,
Such a bad movie, Rich.
I promise
So-
you, we will be doing an episode on Howard the Duck at some point.
On Generation Movie. Yeah, I know, because God knows I'm a glutton for punishment. Fuck.
Look,
I'm
Dude,
so happy that
I
Hugh
don't
Jackman
even
came back.
spend an hour and 45 minutes of looking at Leah Thompson at her hottest, absolute hottest. But come on.
She's the best thing about the movie, but there's play duck jokes, there's Raiders of the Lost Duck jokes. It's a bad movie. Okay. So we will. I
I'm not
will
going to
see.
give those spoilers away, Jasper.
Yeah,
We're
sorry.
not going to give any spoilers away. Nothing. That's not happening on the show tonight. So we will be back with you. I will be back with you next Monday on Generation Movie. Thank you for coming on tonight and giving us.
And what will we be talking about next Monday?
I was looking for that and I can't find it. Hold on. Oh, so much pressure.
Okay, so we're both getting old.
Quack.
No. Wait, hold on. Don't quack. Fucking quacking sucks.
Quack.
Did we say Hellboy?
I think we did.
I think we said Hellboy next week. Followed by Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
Quack.
Yes.
Okay, so
I remember that movie too. Wow.
oh wait, no, is next week August 5th? Hold on. What week is it? No, it's 29th. No, it's Hellboy. It's definitely Hellboy, and then it's Hellboy, then it's Sky Captain, then it's the Last Starfighter, then it's the 19th is The Crow.
I want to talk to you a little bit then off camera about Sky Captain, because Natasha actually wanted to talk about that on the other podcast that I do.
Well, maybe we can have Natasha. I don't know. Anyway, it was good having you. You stay out of trouble. And we'll.
My full 770 word non-spoiler review can be found at filmbuffonline.com. San Diego Comic-Con is this weekend. We are not there, but we're going to have some reporting of what is being announced there as the weekend goes.
It's a big weekend for Marvel. Marvel has 2 full hours in the H room, right? The big room.
All H, yeah.
Hall H. So
there's been a rumor of a lot of alleged announcements, and we recently did a piece where I kind of go through all of those and rate
a good
them
article.
as
Yeah, it was a great article.
likely or unlikely. Also on our Facebook page, we've been kind of reposting links to some of our older stuff about the X-Men films and a few other things that feed into. What are you shaking your head at, Kyle? Because I'm just being a really pimpy whore now.
No, the comments. The comments that JW never highlights.
What do you... Jesus Christ. I was going through them and then he started talking. I'm so happy. I was trying to be respectful of a guest. Will there be a musical number? There was talk years ago that would never do a Wolverine again, of course. Because after Logan, he didn't want to do
money
He's not actually in the movie.
Bob, the AIM henchman. Kyle is telling you that his birthday is this week. Kyle is not telling you that his birthday is this week.
Oh.
Interesting. It's Kyle. Kyle, how old will you be this week?
47.
Don't lie.
Jesus Christ. I'm assuming they will do a Howard from the 80s.
Right.
The last little person who the character got in trouble recently, possibly.
Oops.
Happy
I did
birthday,
not know.
Kyle. Wow, that's interesting. Shit, Howard's in trouble.
Oh,
Thank God. So now that's 2 people from that movie. See, the movie's bad luck. Give him some Howard for his birthday. Oh my God, it's Kyle's birthday. We're bastards. Okay. Did you feel I wasn't highlighting that enough? Let me ask a quick question, Rich, and this is the last question before we let you go for the night, because I know you don't normally work on Tuesday nights with me. Is there how about this? This is a good question. If you said, "Hey, watch a bunch of movies before you go see Deadpool and Wolverine," aside from the first two Deadpool movies, are there any that you go are must see?
Wow. I mean, the first couple of answers that spring to mind obviously indicate some spoilers I don't want to tell you about.
Okay, fair.
Because the surprise of them is a kick in the ass. It really is. So let me
just the first two Deadpool movies and maybe the Wolverine movies.
I would say Logan.
Logan is the main one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
I did a big rewatch of a good chunk of the X-Men films this past weekend leading up to this thing. And I mean, it kind of prepped me overall for the vibe of this movie.
Some of them are unwatchable,
more
Rich.
like a Fox movie than it does in terms of like look.
Marvel, yeah.
It does like
some of those movies are unwatchable, Rich. Some of them are Some of them I've watched with Kyle,
some of them look
and they're
absolutely freaking beautiful, though. Like Logan,
yeah.
and I would say
Logan is the exception. Logan is the best of the Fox. Logan is the best Fox movies.
Are very cinematic in their look. A lot of the camera movement for the fights. They continue to evolve that look. Speaking of looks, by the way, I heard you talking about Joker 2 earlier.
Yeah.
Rewatch that trailer, but just with an eye on how those shots are composed and lit, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And if we're not talking about this movie for cinematography at the end of the year,
I think we will be. I'm not saying we won't. I'm just saying for me, the first movie is one of those movies that's just, it's a bummer. Like everybody comes out of it and you're agitated, and it's not agitated in a fun way. It's agitated and like, God, I'm glum. I'm going to go cry in my Cheerios at home. And I didn't feel the vibe. I was telling somebody said, how many times did you see Joker in theaters? And I was like, I saw it once in theaters.
Get depressed every day.
Well, yeah, it's just one of those things. Now, again, can I look at that trailer and go, oh, they're doing great stuff with cinematography. They're very much doing musical number stuff from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Sure.
I think it's wild that this movie is showing itself to be a musical more than Wicked is showing itself to be a musical.
Well, I would be on board with you up into the point where they're walking around, and I feel there's a musical number in the sequence with all the patients. I don't know what the musical number is going to be, but I have a feeling I'm going to be looking to up my depression medication. is all I can say. But
what, they're gonna do a rip on Clockwork Orange or what?
No, there's the trailers it very much has pastels and different things going on in it, but it's still grimy, and it's got a weird talk show thing going on at the end. I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about the franchise. But anyway, thank you for coming on tonight.
So with Wolverine and Deadpool coming out this weekend, and probably a lot of guys going to see it, you think the wives and girlfriends are going to veer off and go see Fabulous Four with Beth Midler and Susan Sarandon, and that might have a sneaky good weekend? No? You think all the girls are going to go see the Deadpool Wolverine?
I think that movie will have a tough time pulling.
20.
Let's say 7. Let's be honest. I'm going to say 10 million. Let's say 10 million. If it goes over 10, great. Counter programming. But I don't.
For a hat?
No, it's not worth eating a hat. No, there's no reason to. Look,
at least as far as my critics group, they haven't offered it up for a screening. Let that speak for itself.
Sink in. Yeah, there you go. I don't think the counter programming is not there. It's not. it's not like they could have done a counter programming with Deadpool and Wolverine, but they chose not to because everything wanted to get out of its way, right? They could have done a major counter program with something.
Twisters is going to drop hard too.
Yeah, Twister's going to drop off a cliff.
The only thing
saving
Twisters is if people show up at a theater and see all the upcoming Deadpool showings are full, or the seats are really crappy. Let's go see Twisters. That's how Twisters is going to survive.
It's gonna be a rough weekend. Okay, well, thank you for coming on tonight. You have a great
night.
Always a pleasure. I will talk to you later. Too. I'll see you next Monday on Generation Movie. Talking. I have a feeling I'm going to hear from you.
I have a feeling I'm going to hear from you by about 6 o'clock on Thursday, aren't I?
On Thursday, about right around there, because I can talk to you right around 6, and then I can go to my 7 o'clock IMAX showing. So
I look forward to it.
Okay, bye, Rich. Have a good night.
Rich.
Bye, everybody. Take care, guys.
He knows a lot. It's fun to do a show with him. I'm glad he could come on tonight. Let's get some comments so you're not upset. Great seeing on here, Rich. It was good having him. The Duck. I hate the Duck so much. I have to see the Fabulous Four. I think, you know what? It's great counter programming, but I don't think it's. Have you heard anything about this movie? Have you
Yeah.
Didn't even know.
I've seen the trailers.
Movies or Susan Sarandon.
I'm saying, Roger Corman's Fantastic Four. Rich actually was part of a documentary about that. So. Thanks for tuning in, TJ. Indie supporting indie. Where creators unite. Yeah, we appreciate TJ showing up. We may have some big things going on with him. No, starring Bette Midler, Susan Sarandon, Megan Mullally, Sherry Lee Ralph. It's got a great cast. I don't doubt that. I just don't. Will they mess up Nosferatu? No, they will not.
Oh,
that trailer's amazing. Hats are high fiber. Depends on what's in them. Joe writes, we know the set designer and FX guy on Corman's Fantastic Four. We hang out with him at conventions. He's been on the networks a lot. He has amazing, funny stories. Yeah, Rich was actually part of a very big Roger Corman documentary about the Fantastic Four. So, great minds think alike. Yes. Whatever Misty says, yes, that's the answer. Okay, let's get to one of my favorite parts of the week. Two of my favorite parts of the week, actually. We've hit everything. We hit the Acolyte. We hit My Adventures with Superman. Why are you holding up 2? What's wrong?
2.
What do you?
2 favorite parts of the week. 2.
Yes, I said 2.
You're just
2.
It came from Jerry's basement. Jerry, what movie do we have this week for It Came from Jerry's Basement, and where can people watch it?
Okay, so this is kind of an oddball. I have this big box version of Return of the Aliens Deadly Spawn. However, you will find it as The Deadly Spawn.
Just The Deadly Spawn. Don't go looking. There's the poster for it. This is a weird movie from '83. It has an extraordinary budget of $25,000.
Why aren't they circumcised?
They are very kosher aliens. But basically, it's a course in 80s meteorite movie. Something crashes. It ends up, these teenagers have to fight these deadly alien spawn. It is a fun movie. Where can people find it?
It's bloody. It's graphic. You can find this. Where did I find this? This is on YouTube.
Yes.
As The Deadly Spawn.
The Deadly Spawn. It was made by Douglas McCowan, who was basically a guy that liked to do horror movie effects, and he basically got shot it in New Jersey on 16 millimeter film. It's all kinds of quirky. It has rubber puppets, wire control. The effects work is pretty fun. It's not great. You can definitely see the strings, but it is one of those funny movies that's basically, it was all part of the Alien, the Alien run.
Well, you watch this alongside of Critters, Invaders from Mars. Alien.
Like
right in there.
It fits right in with all those fun 80s.
Lower budget than most. it's pretty gory. So if you like that,
It's super gory, and again, the budget is only $25,000. It's
Leave it up
less
to a guy
than
from Jersey to show you the first dick pic, tying in with Jasper's comment.
Yep. It's even on the cover.
fair. Let's see.
It almost
Did
looks
Kyle
like
watch Twilight Zone? Is a question? No.
Little Shop of Horrors.
It
I've
does have
been
a little
watching news stations, so I think I am watching Twilight Zone.
first dick pic. The male version of teeth, and then sandworms. You hate them, right? But okay, so it's a fun movie. It's gory as hell. It capitalizes on the 80s like Alien movies. The other movie it kind of has in common with, but it's much better made, is Slither. Would be the movie that I would say it has a lot in common with. Meteorite, big creature, and
Night of the Creeps.
Night of the Creeps, big creature in a basement, sluggy kind of things.
I hate those kids in Slytherin.
Not Slytherin, Slither.
Malfoy.
Slither.
Kind of is a rip on Night of the Creeps a little bit,
But it's a good rip off. Like I don't mind it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Let's see. What else we got? So that's the Deadly Spawn. And it came from Jerry's basement, and now Kyle's nap time. As we get to this episode, it's Twilight Zone Redux, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. We are super excited about this week's episode because we do have a major star in this week's episode, Vera Miles.
The Sandman. Oh.
Now, Vera Miles is in this week's episode. It is the 21st episode of the American television anthology series The Twilight Zone, aired on February 26, 1960. This is the opening narration. Millicent Barnes, age 25, young woman waiting for a bus on a rainy November night. Not a very imaginative type is Miss Barnes, not given to undue anxiety or fears, or for that matter, even the most temporal flights of fancy. Like most young career women, she has a generic classification as a, quote, girl with a head on her shoulders, end of quote. All of which is mentioned now because in just a moment, the head of Miss Barnes' shoulders will be put to a test. Circumstances will assault her sense of reality, and a chain of nightmares will put her sanity on a block. Millicent Barnes, who in 1 minute will wonder if she's going mad. So this is an amazing episode. Very Miles. It's very much it's like almost a 4-character Twilight Zone. Yep. There are other characters, they're cop characters and everything, but so Vera Miles is Millicent Barnes. It has Martin Milner as Paul Grinstead, Joe Hamilton as a ticket agent, and he is such a jerk.
Yeah, he is.
And Naomi Stevens as the washroom attendant. So this whole episode revolves on a bus station at the middle of the night, not the middle of the night, but like towards late in the night where like it's raining out, everything's going, and the bus has not arrived. She goes to meet the ticket guy, and the guy's like, "This is the third time you've asked. It's not coming in any sooner." That's the first quick, first idea. You got to quit asking. The next, kind of like quirk is that she notices her bag has been checked and she hasn't checked her bag, and then it's just a series of quirks and weird things until she goes to the restroom where she meets a woman attendant who's super nice to her and is worried about her. When she opens the door, she, in the mirror, sees herself sitting in her seat while she's in the bathroom. And so it levels upon levels, and she meets a really nice guy. She meets this gentleman named Paul Grinstead who's traveling with her as well, from Binghamton, and he basically watches her kind of lose the tether. She goes unconscious. They basically do whatever, and eventually gets to the point where he calls the cops on her and has her taken away to save her from herself. But before she does that, she talks about the idea or concept of alternate realities, multiverse, a place where, she goes, I read something somewhere about being able to have a doppelganger, somebody that looks like us or acts like us. And this is the scene at the perfect scene in the bathroom with the mirror. The composite is absolutely perfect. And then, this is her at the beginning, and it's a pretty cool bus station. It's like a neat little bus station set that I imagine they use for everything. That's Paul right there, and Paul's doppelganger. So as the episode progresses, she slowly loses her sanity, and Paul eventually has her taken away, and Paul is stuck because he misses the bus. He puts his bag down, and it disappears.
Mm-hmm.
And then he sees somebody running for the door, and he goes chasing, and what he gets is this. He gets his doppelganger, who turns around, gives him a smile.
Yeah, he smirks at him.
He smirks at him, and basically he's left at the end of the episode to stand there and wonder what the fuck just happened. And he said, he's chasing his own copy with a malevolent, like the copy is evil. And the copy disappears, and Paul calls out, "Where are you?" looking around in confusion and shock. The narration closing goes, "Obscure and metaphysical explanation to cover phenomena. Reasons dragged out of the shadows to explain away that which cannot be explained. Call it parallel planes or just insanity. Whatever it is, you'll find it in the Twilight Zone." Now, so this is 1960. They're talking about multiverses. They're talking about different planes of existence. They're talking about people who share the same planes of existence but are copies of one another.
Mm-hmm.
This is so fucking early. This is so early, kids, for this particular talk. And what I would say to you is, we get lucky sometimes, right? We get lucky when we have movies that are direct results of this movie. And the movie that I would urge everybody to watch this episode with, Jerry, is Us. It's very much Us, the movie, Kyle.
Like,
The movie, Kyle. The movie. No, not Us. Us together. Us, the movie, Kyle. The movie, Kyle.
Never want to do anything with
movie
it.
right here. We're making a movie right now.
We are. But
Kyle's birthday movie.
I will say, the one thing I will say about the episode, Jerry, that is kind of a detraction. It doesn't really have an ending, right? It doesn't.
Right.
It kind of just leaves it
Yeah, he's
messy.
just left like.
It's messy, and you don't know what. Like, the doppelganger takes her bus on the seat. The doppelganger takes her bag. The doppelganger does all these things, and she loses her mind and gets taken to a sanitarium. And he basically starts to lose his mind when his doppelganger shows up. So there's no real set ending. It kind of just leaves it out there that this could happen. And this is, it's great writing, but it's also when I can specifically show you a movie that this episode that Jordan Peele definitely talked about when he was making Us, right? Because that movie's about doppelgangers. That movie's about things that are in the shadows. And next week, Jerry, we get a heavy hitter.
Yep.
The next week we get The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, which is the 22nd episode of the first season. And The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the 5 best episodes of the Twilight Zone ever.
My kid had to watch that in a class. In one of his classes.
It is a fantastic episode. I cannot wait to talk about it. I cannot wait to, talk about the people that are in it, talk about everything about it. It is a phenomenal episode. Claude Akins, Barry Atwater, it's just an amazing, you know what I mean? Like, it's an amazing episode about paranoia and whether or not Americans love their neighbors. And it is an episode that I've seen other times, but I can honestly say an episode that, how can you not say it doesn't have anything to do right now with where we're at? Like, it's one of those episodes where it easily transfers from 1960 to here. Let's see. Don't get on the bus to Philly. No, it's a bus to Binghamton, New York. No, she's going to Syracuse. I'm sorry. No ticket. There's a man on the bus. No, her doppelganger's on the bus, and it's creepy. Roberson wishes the bus into the cornfield. Nope, that's not how it works. And do you want to see something really scary? No, because I don't.
That's Twilight Zone the movie.
I know it's Twilight Zone the movie.
Right?
I don't think it's particularly good. Like Twilight Zone the movie is. There's a couple of segments that are good, but the whole movie. Also,
I have that here somewhere too.
Yeah, Twilight Zone the movie forever tainted by the death of two children actors and Vic Morrow. Always will be tainted. That movie. But yeah, this was a great episode. Next week is an absolute banger of an episode, just about paranoia and the American people and whether or not you trust your neighbors and all those things that we're unfortunately, Jerry, still talking about in 2024, right?
Probably that's forever.
That's probably
never go away.
Probably forever. Okay, Slapjaw, what do you got coming up, Jerry?
August 10th, we're playing a Swamp Fest up at the Ransom Pavilion.
We keep on talking about this. This is good times. Kyle, what do you got going on? Anything fun, or did you get a cool pop this week, or what do you got?
Always got a cool pop. We got a fun one this actually. Let's see. New one I got today in the mail. Dr. Seuss.
Oh, Theodore Geisel. Nice. That is a cool pop. That is a super cool pop. You got anything going on? I know the boy has gone back to.
What are you doing for your birthday?
Yeah, what are you doing? What does Kyle Defina
going to see in Deadpool? My birthday is on Thursday.
Oh, that is a good birthday
Perfect.
gift. That is a perfect birthday gift. And
I'm going to see Hailstorm and I Prevail tomorrow night.
What are you going to see?
Hailstorm and I Prevail in Hollywood Undead tomorrow night. Nice.
Okay. Well, I of course we are super happy about everything going on with the Indie Escape Network, and we do have some bigger things coming up. I want to let everybody know about that. We got some big things coming up on the table. You can follow us, of course, on all these fun things: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Twitter, IMDb. We're all there. You can find me, JW the Movie Guy, on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, or X, whatever the fuck he's calling it these days. Facebook, I already said. And you can find the Loud Nerdy group. Please join us there if you like it. Also, the Indie Escape Network has their page and their YouTube thing. I didn't get yelled at for this tonight. I should have gotten yelled at. I should have done it earlier. It's okay. I got to start putting the ticker up. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like watching our show. We have all the old episodes, or the new episodes of the show there. You can also check out the Indie Escape Network Facebook page, where we have all of our cool things already done. And also, many things that come up, different things about new horror films that are being worked on, or, ties and things to, we just had a great interview. Gabe had a great interview this past weekend on his show. There's a lot of good things happening on the network. Please pay attention. Let's get some 2 final comments. Happy birthday, Kyle. He's also going to a concert. There you go. And then Kyle is my old man. Aw, you had me at old.
Get off my podcast, you kids.
Get off my lawn. Thank you for
joining.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We will see everybody next week for Loud Nerdy. Have a good time at Deadpool and Wolverine. Remember a couple things when you're going to the theaters this weekend. It's going to be super busy. Don't be a dick. Clean up your shit. Take it with you. Carry your garbage with you. Don't be a dick to people that are working in movie theaters. Also, buy some popcorn and some candy and some drinks. Keep theaters in going. And the last thing I'm going to say about Deadpool and Wolverine this weekend, just so we're clear, don't give anything away. Just
Make
shut
people
your
pay you for those spoilers.
Yes, just shut your mouth.
I can use
Still looking for the logo in the upper right corner. I'm sorry. I'll work on it. I'm never good enough. I'm never good enough for Joe. Oh, so old. Thank you, Ashley.
I get it all the time. Don't worry about
Thank
it.
you for joining us tonight. We're actually old. Thank you for joining us tonight. Have a great week. We'll see everybody next week to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine, and we'll see how everybody did with their picks, their money picks. Did you write all of them down, Kyle?
I did. I have them all
Boom.
written down here.
Okay, so we'll talk about them next week. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week. We'll see everybody next week.